Information shared on the following program is for general information purposes only. It does not constitute legal, tax, investment, or other advice, nor is it intended to recommend any particular investments, products, or financial instruments. Always seek advice from your financial advisor, attorney, or accountant with regard to investment, legal, or tax questions.
Welcome, folks, to another fun-filled edition of Who Wants to Retire Worry-Free? And now your host of our show, America's money missionary, Tony Walker.
Yeah, you handsome devil, you.
Tony, you're on.
Oh, welcome, folks, to Who Wants to Retire Worry-Free? I'm your host, Tony Walker, and today's contestants are the same contestants we had last week. We've got Aaron and Gina and finally Derek. All right, guys, you didn't do so well last week, so here's today's question. All right, you ready? What's the only financial tool that can provide guaranteed income for the rest of your life? Okay, Aaron, you got this.
A multi-tool?
No, that's not correct, Aaron. Gina, come on now.
Buy a second boat?
Oh, no, Gina, it's always about boats. Let's go now, Derek.
Is it Bitcoin?
Oh, my gosh. Come on, folks. You know the answer. It's mailbox money. And today, I'm going to show you how to use mailbox money to be worry-free in retirement.
Welcome to the only show in the country dedicated to helping savers worry less about money, the Worry-Free Retirement, with your host, best-selling author and fiduciary, Tony Walker.
Last week on the Worry-Free Retirement, we talked about the basics of how insurance companies work and how they make money, and how in the world they are able to have the wherewithal to protect our possessions, yes, even our very lives and our retirement income, while at the same time not going broke. While being the frequent ridicule by some as sucking us dry of our money and not paying us much in return, I think if we all are honest with ourselves to know that we have a well-funded insurance company protecting our cars, our homes, our health, and yes, our retirement income, should bring us peace of mind of knowing that we are covered, especially seeing as though no one else in the financial world is willing to do this. Banks can't protect us the way insurance companies can. Wall Street sure can't. And neither is there anything in writing from the government that says they will protect us from all the financial risks we face. But Tony, you say, during all these years on God's green earth, I've literally paid thousands and thousands of dollars to these insurance companies for protections for things that I've never gotten a penny for in return. What do insurance companies offer me in the way of protecting my income in retirement? And if they do, am I going to get all my money back? To which I'd say, let's find out. Well, welcome, folks, to the Worry-Free Retirement. And yes, I am that little man in the sweater vest, guaranteed retirement income specialist and fiduciary, Tony Walker. And today we will be covering Insurance Made Easy, Part 2, as we learn how each and every day we at Tony Walker Financial are helping savers worry less about money by providing guaranteed income from insurance companies in order to be sure that these savers don't run out of money in retirement. A monumental and guaranteed feat that no other financial institution can promise but insurance companies. But first, before we dive in, let me introduce the producer of the Worry-Free Retirement, someone who ensures that this show is produced each and every week, Mr. Aaron Orander, along with his sidekick at the graphics today, Mr. Derek Hudson. Okay, so we have a hard-working saver, someone in his or her early 60s. There they are, slaving away at work for the past 30, 40 years, stockpiling money in that 401k, and now it's about time to retire and stop working. Well, where does the income come from to replace the income you were making at work? Well, assuming you have a 401k plan, you draw the retirement income from it, right? Okay, so how much can you draw out of this 401k without running out of money? Do you keep it at risk in the stock market? And what's your game plan to use and enjoy this money before it's too late? Now, these are tough decisions for sure. That's because the 401k is not a retirement plan at all, but merely a way you have saved for retirement. It does little or no good once you retire because buried inside this darn thing is risk, plenty of taxes that have to be dealt with, all kinds of fees, and sadly, no guarantees for the future. Yet, no worries, because when I return, I'm going to show you how insurance companies can protect your savings and make sure that no matter how long you live, that 401k money you have, or that money sitting over there at the bank, or that inheritance you just received, no matter what you've got, we're going to show you how you won't run out of money with this magical tool from insurance companies. I'm Tony Walker. I'll be right back. With the stock market at all-time highs and our nation's debt through the roof, there's a lot of uncertainty out there. Now may be the best time to safeguard more of your 401k. Let's get started today by logging on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. With over 10,000 people turning 65 each and every day, you might have noticed that everybody and his brother is now apparently a specialist in the field of retirement planning. Financial advisors, insurance agents, money managers, internet pop-up ads, and financial institutions all of a sudden want you to blindly turn over your life savings so they can manage your retirement. Now, my observation from what I've seen from these so-called retirement experts is that most of them have very little experience in the retirement planning field at all. In fact, under current law, any advisor, insurance agent, money manager, or financial institution is not even required to know anything about retirement planning other than getting a license to sell insurance or securities. So why would so many savers blindly turn over their life savings to someone with little knowledge of retirement planning? Well, probably because the same saver doesn't know how to take the money buried inside that 401k, take it out as income, and more importantly, make sure they don't run out of money. It's a daunting task for sure. And assuming you're a saver and aren't willing to keep taking a lot of risk in the stock market, where are you supposed to invest it in such a way as to guarantee that you won't run out of money? Well, the answer? Insurance. More specifically, annuities. That's right. The same insurance companies that protect your car and home also can provide income protection so that you don't run out of money in retirement. And the good news is that annuities you have for decades have been around and have stood the test of time. In fact, ever since the government decided to reward veterans of the Civil War with annuities, otherwise known as pensions, savers have been enjoying the safety and security of an income like this that they can never outlive. My granddad had a pension provided to him by his employer. He and his wife Hazel were the annuitants of that pension and were guaranteed that his former employer, Bell South, would pay an income to them for the rest of their lives. Granddad didn't have to invest it, he didn't have to get out and chase after bank CDs, and he sure didn't need a money manager dinging him every quarter with a bunch of complicated statements and fees. No, Granddad, all he had to do was pull up to the mailbox and grab that annuity check out each month and stick it in the bank. Funny, as we'll find out in the next segment, while most savers are worried about how much money they are earning in interest on their savings, Granddad never asked about the return of his pension. He had no clue what the interest rate on that pension was, and it didn't really matter to him. All he needed to know was that income he was getting was guaranteed till the day he died, which of course it was. So if annuities have been around forever, and it's seen as though annuities are in fact the only type of investment that can guarantee an income you can never outlive, why don't all savers invest at least a portion of their money into annuities? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to grab the whiteboard. I'm going to show you the basics of how to decide if an annuity is right for you, which type of annuity you might wish to consider, and how in the world an insurance company can back up this promise of guaranteed income for life. I'm Tony Walker. Let me get the whiteboard out. I'll be right back. It is estimated that each day over 10,000 people will turn 65, which means a lot of advisors selling a lot of annuities. Don't get stuck in the wrong annuity. Get a second opinion from TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Welcome back to the Worry-Free Retirement. And before we get into today's whiteboard segment, which is a doozy, by the way, I wanted to cover our Live Well, Die Broke moment, which features LaDonna from Shelby County, Kentucky. And this is pretty cool. The little bow on there means it was a present, and apparently her husband picked this up for her. Nice little beamer. That is really cool. So we appreciate you, LaDonna, sending in that photo. By the way, if you'd like to participate in our Live Well, Die Broke giveaway, every month, randomly, we're going to draw one of our pictures out. It doesn't even have to make the air. And you're going to get a $100 free gift card, no obligation. Again, all you do is you want to log on and send an email to Gina at TonyWalkerFinancial.com with your favorite Live Well, Die Broke moment. And again, it'll go into a drawing for a $100 gift card that we will randomly draw every month. So, and by the way, we're getting a lot of feedback on the Live Well, Die Broke book. You can purchase that at Amazon or any major booksellers. It's a game changer, folks. The philosophy there is use and enjoy your money while you can without the fear of running out. And it's a good segue into our whiteboard segment, because a lot of people say, well, Tony, that doesn't make sense. Do I really want to die broke? And that's not what we're saying. We're saying, folks, that we all die and we can't take it with us. So let's enjoy it while we can. And one way we can do that is through the magic of the product we've talked about today, annuities. So really, to make this really simple, folks, when you're thinking about investing your money for retirement. Now, this is a retirement planning show, folks, so we're talking to people who are already retired or getting ready to retire, all right? You really have two worlds that you can choose from. Now, you can have both in both worlds, but in this example, we're just imagining you're going to choose one world or the other, and you're going to take this 401k or this savings or this IRA or inheritance, and you got to figure out how you're going to invest it and make income from it. The first world is safety and security. Now, normally this includes investments like government bonds, bank CDs, and insurance products such as annuities. Now, I'm not going to be talking about bank CDs and government bonds because, unfortunately, they cannot guarantee you an income that you can never outlive. Eventually, you're going to run out of money, especially with low interest rates, and if you live too long, they could run out. So we can't include those. In a minute, I'm going to talk about this side, which is only annuities. Then the other side, the other world, is called the growth and uncertainty world. And of course, in this example, we're talking about the stock market. So stocks, bonds, mutual funds, maybe you decide to leave your 401k there and you're going to see what happens in retirement. So in this example, I've got to keep my cheat notes here. We're imagining you're age 60, okay? And that person's going to choose, maybe this is person A. Let's do that. Person A says, I'm going to put my $100,000 into an annuity. Now this annuity has an income rider. By the way, I would highly encourage you to download our latest book, Annuities Made Easy, and it talks about these income riders. Many of them are paying 6-7%, folks. That is not the same as a bank yield. So if anybody's pitching an annuity and you're getting all excited about 6, 7, 8%, just keep this in mind. Most insurance companies are only paying about 2 to 3% on their short-term annuities. So as you're going to see, there is a catch to this, but since we want it for income, we're fine with that, but you're really not earning 7%. I hope you understand that, because a lot of people are selling annuities and they're not telling you the whole truth on these products. But nevertheless, we're going to invest it at 7% and guaranteed inside the income account, okay, that's where we're going to get our mailbox money from, is going to be at age 70, $196,000. Now that number is guaranteed. I know that when I turn 70, I'm 60 now, the $100,000 at 7% will be $196,715. Well, let's imagine we come over here to the same thing. We decide we're going to leave $100,000 over at Wally World and see what happens there. And you say, well, what interest rate are we going to assume there? Well, quite frankly, we don't know. You see, folks, once you enter the world of Wally World, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and we have this too. We can do this through Charles Schwab. It's not a problem, but we can't guarantee anything. People often ask, well, what's your portfolios over there making, Tony? Well, I can tell you what it's done in the past, but there's no guarantees of future results. So we're going into retirement with a lot of what ifs. But let's imagine it earned exactly 7%. That'd be a pretty good rate of return, actually. And let's just imagine in 10 years you had exactly the same amount. Now, granted, this being an income rider, you might argue, well, can you just take that out? No, you've got to take it out over time. That's the catch. And somebody could argue, well, I'll just take that all out lump sum, which is true, you could. However, we're needing income. Folks, retirement is about income. We're replacing income you've made at work with income from the principal, the 401k, the savings, or whatever you've got that's got to generate income for as long as you live. And we say, well, how long is that? Who knows? That's the problem. I've often kidded around. I used to do a lot of seminars, and I always start off the seminar with this. Folks, if you can tell me exactly the date you're going to die, I can work up the perfect retirement plan. The problem is most people don't know that date, so they always have this fear of running out of money. And when you get over into this world of trying to grow your money, you create a lot of uncertainty because it could go down. Remember, growth means more risk. More risk means the potential for loss. But let's just say we work up the annuity. Again, these annuity rates change all the time, folks. We use all kinds of different companies. But this particular annuity says that at age 70, they will guarantee, this is a guarantee by the way, that they will pay this person, male or female, it doesn't matter, this income for the rest of their life. They're going to send a check, and you can take it monthly, but let's talk annual. They're going to send a check for $11,213 a year for the rest of their life. Let's go back again what they did. They put in $100,000 at age 60, they're age 70. Now they're going to draw this lifetime income. Well, what if they live 10 years? Will the money run out? Nope. What if they live 20 years? Will the money run out? Nope. What if they live 30 years to age 100? Nope. Remember, folks, the insurance company has that ability to back this promise up. They are guaranteeing this money. So, well, let's do the same thing. Let's say, well, Tony, couldn't I take $11,213,000 out of this account? You got that Schwab account. We got a lot of clients who are taking income from their Charles Schwab managed account that we handle. How long is that going to last? I don't know. I mean, in 10 years, we got a big question mark, right? Especially if you're taking out money. You know, we are recording this show on January 6th, 2021. Folks, last year we had a pandemic. The market crashed, okay? Can you imagine if you're needing this income and drawing that income and the market's tanking? That's not going to be a very good sign, nor does the math add up. So in 10 years, we don't know what we'll have, maybe nothing. 20 years, don't know what we have, might not have anything. And especially the longer you go out, the more fearful this becomes because we've got risk mixed into the equation. So as we kind of go through here, it was funny, after 2 weeks ago we did a show, and our own Derek Hudson, after we were done, it was on the whiteboard. I was using an example similar to this, where a person was taking income from the annuity, and Derek said after the show, he said, hey, by the way, Tony, you didn't say anything about what happens to that money when the person dies. He didn't even say if. Derek's learning pretty quick, folks. But he said, what happens when this person dies? I said, Derek, that's a great question. So this is what I want to focus on for the last couple of minutes of this segment. Is this notion of an income account, okay? So we talked earlier that insurance companies, let's say their going rate on their short-term annuities, and we offer a lot of these, let's say they're only paying 2%, which is about what they're paying. Well, if you're being logical about this, come on, folks. I mean, we're pretty sharp here. You can handle this. Think about it. If they're only paying 2% on their short-term annuities, how in the world are they guaranteeing 7% on the long-term annuities? Well, because this is really not a yield. This number that I'm showing you, this $196,000, and this is where some of you have really bought into a big unethical scheme here, where a lot of people are selling these annuities and they're not explaining to you that this income account, when you die, is gone. So let's walk through this a minute. In this example, now we use worst case scenario. Let's say this person is taking out $11,213 a year. There is something within this policy called the contract value. This is what's called a fixed indexed annuity in this example. So this money is not invested anywhere. This is a calculation, it's an accounting number that the insurance company is using to calculate your mailbox money, and it's all guaranteed. That's fine. And of course, if you live a long time, you're going to make out like a bandit on this thing. But what if you don't live a long time? Remember in our show last week, we talked to our actuary friend who talked about this, folks. These insurance companies have something you don't. They have science and statistics behind these calculations. You see, through what's called the law of large numbers, they have all these insureds, millions of them in some cases. And while they don't know who's going to die in any given year, they know pretty much with complete accuracy how many are going to die. So they don't really care who's going to die and who's not going to die. They just want to make sure they don't miss their mark. So if you're one of the lucky few that live 30, 40, 50 years, yep, they're going to pay you out a bunch of money. But you know what they also know? There's going to be some people that don't live a long time, and they're not going to have to pay out all this money. So back to Derek's question. Let's imagine this person dies in the 11th year. They live 10 years, and the 11th year this person passes away. Now, granted, they got their money back. 10 times 11,000 is roughly 110,000. They only put in 100,000. But you say, Tony, what about the person's kids? Did they get anything? In this example, assuming worst case scenario of this particular indexed annuity, because the indexed annuity is not guaranteed to grow, if it did 0%, and then we subtract out the fees the insurance company has to take, in this example, again, there are different examples, but in this example, worst case scenario, this person dies in the 11th year, nobody gets anything. So therein lies the problem, folks. Many of you don't understand the annuities, or you're getting ready to buy an annuity, probably not the right type of annuity from what I'm seeing from most of you who come into me after buying these annuities. And here's the problem. You're going to get stuck in many cases in the wrong annuity. So as we like to say, don't do that. There's no reason to get stuck in the wrong annuity. So if you have a current annuity, thinking about buying an annuity, you like this idea of principal protection and not outliving your money, why don't you do this right now? Why don't you log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com, click on that Let's Get Started. Let's talk about your entire situation, your full gamut of what you're wanting to do before ever looking at an annuity. Remember, folks, you create the game plan first, then select the proper products that go within the game plan to fit your situation. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this segment. I know it was a good one. I've enjoyed sharing it with you. Don't forget to download our free guide, Annuities Made Easy, at TonyWalkerFinancial.com. But in the meantime, I got to get me another cup of coffee, because when I come back, I'm going to talk about the Bible and the one guarantee you've got that everybody forgets about. And boy, is it important. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
If you would like to be a contestant on Who Wants to Retire Worry-Free, simply send us a postcard with your name, phone number, and the make and model of your automobile to Who Wants to Retire Worry-Free, 1234 Worry-Free Drive in Pura Vida, Kentucky.
This is, of course, completely fake. There is no such thing as the Who Wants to Retire Worry-Free game show, because that would be a complete bust. It is simply a farce, and there are no game show winnings. See state code 41295 for more details regarding the use of fake game shows and financial education programming. May cause irritability, mild sensitivity to sunlight, and sudden obsession with sweater vests. Not applicable in Rhode Island, New Mexico, or any Alaskan territories. 3,000 down, 0% APR for 36 months, tax tag and liable due at signing. See KRD 412712418 for more information.
My granddad's mission in life was quite simple. Work hard and provide for his family, which included the safety and security they expected from him. His wife, my grandmother Hazel, his son, my uncle Eddie, and his daughter, my mother, all depended on Granddad to do what he said he was going to do, to be faithful to his calling to provide for them. And it wasn't just the faithfulness he showed to his family, it was also exhibited by the 43 years of faithful service he devoted to his employer, Bell South. And when you think about it, that's really what an insurance company is there to do, to provide you and I a sense of security and protection so that if we live a long life, they will be there to protect our income through the use of their annuities, a product that no other financial institution provides nor can guarantee. Yet, even with all these insurance companies providing us the safety and security of mailbox money for life, I still find it interesting that my clients are not always at peace about life, about money, the past, and of course the fears and concerns they still might have regarding their future. These fears and regrets sometimes reveal themselves to those who are retired or nearing retirement and feel they haven't done a good job of saving for the future. Maybe they feel that they've lost loved ones and they regret the lack of time that they spent with those folks. Could be they just wish they had chosen a different profession that might have paid more income. Maybe that was the solution. Or worse yet, those who have unreconcilable issues and differences with family members, whether those family members are dead and gone or still living, but no longer have contact with. Well, if that's you, might I suggest that contrary to what the world is pitching, more money is not the answer to dealing with the issues of your past. No, the answer to creating a sense of joy and moving forward is found in one word, and that word is forgiveness. You see, assuming we have suffered either a loss to us or maybe created a loss to others, As humans, the ability to forgive others or forgive ourselves is quite impossible. But there is hope, and it's not found in the faithfulness of men, but in God's grace. Take a look at Ephesians chapter 1, verse 7. It says, "In him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of our trespasses," wrongdoings if you will, "according to the riches of his grace." Now, what riches is Paul referring to? Well, it's right there. Look again. The riches of God's grace is the very fact that through Christ, you and I are forgiven. Well, what evidence of more God's grace do we have? Well, let's check out 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 13. And the very end of that verse says this, faith in the truth. Faith in what truth, you ask, Tony? Well, faith in the truth, I just read you in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 7, the truth that through Christ, no matter what you've done or has been done to you, by the power of his blood, we are forgiven. Moral of the story, one day, folks, you and I, we're going to be dead and gone. And all the money in the world cannot erase our past nor provide us security for our future. No, the only source of true riches is found in the forgiveness of our sins through Christ. And friend, I'm telling you, that's some truth you can take to the bank. Well, speaking of where we should be placing our faith when it comes to our money and our retirement, I've got an important question for you. After all these years of working hard and saving hard, do you have at your disposal an advisor in whom you can say, honest to goodness, someone that you can trust, someone that you can have faith in to do what they say they're going to do, someone who has the experience, know-how, and a team of highly trained local service professionals that know this world of retirement planning? Maybe it's someone who is just not going to grab your money and take off running with it, but rather someone who's going to take the time to make sure you understand this money and be there for the long haul to help you use and enjoy it while you still can. Well, if you don't have somebody like that, why not? May I suggest we talk? I'm Tony Walker, and I'm the owner of Tony Walker Financial, and for more than 36 years, I've committed my life's work to creating a process unlike any other offered by the financial world. I call it the worry-free retirement, and I'd like to share it with you. Here's how it works. At no cost or obligation, all you got to do is log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com. Once you get to our website, you can click on that Let's Get Started button, and you've got several options of how we can talk. First of all, we can set up a phone appointment at your convenience, or if you like, we can meet in person at either our Bowling Green, Louisville, or Lexington, Kentucky offices. In fact, many people ask me, hey, Tony, am I going to be meeting with you? I know you got all these other fiduciaries. Absolutely. At Tony Walker Financial, even though I'm the owner and have been doing this a long time, I am completely engaged in our practice and completely accessible to those who have interest in working with Tony Walker Financial. So what are you waiting for? There's no cost or obligation. Log on to TonyWalkerFinancial.com or call the toll-free number on your screen. Well, we hope you've enjoyed today's program. Next week, we've got a good one. We're going to talk about this concept of service after the sale, something that's very rare today, but not at Tony Walker Financial. And when you get into retirement planning, you better have somebody that's definitely going to be there for the long haul. But you remember, between now and then, if all else fails, you be worry-free. Make it a good one.